This is the 2019 Cornell Cooperative Extension Tompkins County Annual Meeting and Breakfast. We have a wonderful speaker on tap for today, and I'd just like to start off by introducing Ken Slother, the Executive Director.
Thank you, Pat. And Pat, this is Patrick Woods, our president of our board of directors. Pat's actually will be stepping down from as president at the end of this year. So I just wanted to tell a little story. About a week ago, there was a rider on the TCAT bus who mentioned to her seat companion. There was a woman rider on a TCAT bus who mentioned to her seat companion, she said, "Look, I just got to tell you, I'm going to do it. I really am. I'm going to do it now. I'm finally going to do it." And the guy said, "Well, do what?" And she said, "Well, I'm going to go ahead, and I've decided to go ahead and purchase a heat pump system for my home." Only in Tompkins would you get anybody who actually knows what a heat pump is. But her companion was ecstatic because and telling her how great it was, and then when he got off the bus, he went and called a couple of his friends to tell them that she was getting a heat pump. Okay, this is not that big of a deal, right? I mean, it's somebody getting a heat pump, somebody basically buying a heating system for their home, and it's something that people here do everywhere in the north, maybe not in Kenya, but everywhere in the north, people buy heating systems pretty much every day. Not everybody buying one every day, but those things are sold every day. So why did her companion get so excited about it? And why is it that I'm telling this story? Why am I even telling you this? So if we trace it back, about 3 years ago, there was a training that was held where about 12 people did about 10 sessions to learn about energy efficiency and renewable energy, and what they could do in their own homes to increase energy efficiency and possibly to switch over to renewable energy. Well, that guy on the bus, and the other thing that was done was, in addition to people learning this for themselves, there's also time spent in the training on how you could help others do the same thing. And that guy on the bus was actually one of those people who took part in the training. So he did some work on his own home, and then he started to work on talking to other people about having these about doing something with their own homes. And he actually, about 2 years ago, is when he actually talked to this woman for the first time. She was a seat companion on the bus. They rode the bus together, and he basically started to talk to her about heat pumps and about energy efficiency. And it took 2 years, but over the course of those 2 years, she had the opportunity to think about it. She had the opportunity to ask questions. She gathered information. She weighed alternatives. She ran scenarios with this guy. And in the end, after 2 years, she decided to take that step, which is a big step, if you think about it. People don't know, heat pumps are expensive. It's a big purchase. The technology is not that well known here. We don't even actually know there aren't that many being used in north climates, so it's something that's a little bit risky in that sense, although it's not risky. But it seems like it if you don't know anybody who hasn't used one. And so, but this person was able to take that step because of having this interaction with this person. And this training was held here, was held at Cooperative Extension. It was something that was designed by one of our staff, and it's now been going on for 3 years. So there's been actually, in addition to that dozen who started, there's another, 30 or 40 who've taken that training since then. And by the way, now NYSERDA is actually really interested in it and is just funded and expansion to 5 other counties across the state. But it was really about having somebody helping people take a step, giving them an opportunity to think about it, being there for them, helping them think critically about it, being there for them, having them talk about their options, looking at incentives, being there for them to basically help that person take that step. And that's what we do all the time. That's what cooperative extension does. We do it with, we do it with, and I'll have to do it with my notes because I can't remember what we do it with right now. But we do it with, come on, you think I would know what we do within cooperative extension. My wife would kill me. We do it with raising kids. We do it with parents who are trying to raise kids. We do it with hundreds of parents who are divorcing, who actually want to know how to raise their kids well with this new change in their lives. And so we do it with those parents. We help those parents figure out how to basically be good parents with their kids, even as they go from being a couple to being single. We do it with the 80 or so entrepreneurs or would-be entrepreneurs who want to start businesses related to food by giving them access to the Taste New York store. So we give it to the dozens of people who actually are succeeding as entrepreneurs who want to expand their business, who want to go regional or go national. And they take advantage of a program that we have in partnership with TCAD, the Tompkins County Area Development. We do it with they do it with thousands of nutrition folks, with people wanting to learn about nutrition, and thousands more who do youth development work, or kids who want to take steps in in developing themselves. We do it with municipal leaders. We do it with other local leaders, people who want to make changes for their constituency, who are really engaged with their communities and want to make changes, and we're working with them to help them take steps. And actually, when I had my little lapse there, I couldn't remember. What I could have done is said, look around the room, because all of you know the steps. All of you know the different areas that we're taking steps, because you're all doing it. We do this we do this every day. We do this pretty much all the time. We do this with just about any area that. Any area where people are interested in making an improvement in their own lives. If you scratch a little bit, you'll find that somebody probably within cooperative extension is actually helping people make those changes. So that's what we do. And I think if you look inwardly, look at yourself, you should congratulate yourself, because in fact, that's what you're doing on a daily basis. And collectively, so we're doing this with 10s, with 20s, with hundreds, but collectively, it's in the tens of thousands. And the really cool part about that is that those people who take those steps, they take a step one time, they learn that process, or they take a step again, they learn that process even better. And fairly soon, they're taking all sorts of big steps that matter to them, to their families, to their communities, and to the globe, to the nation. And so think about it. The power that you have and the power that you implement on a daily basis, what you're doing, is something that we should all celebrate. So thank you for doing that, and thank you for being a part of cooperative extension. We do that, in part by basically first by listening to people. We listen to what the challenges are that people have. And then we begin to look at the systems that those people are operating in with those same people. So if somebody has a challenge, we start to talk with them. We begin to try to understand what their challenge is. But we also really begin to think about the system that they're operating in. Can we change that system, or can we help that person who's in that system work within that system to make the changes, to make those steps that they need? And as I said, we do that systematically. We do that pretty much all the time. And we look for resources within the system or elsewhere that can actually help people take those steps. So we start with this understanding that we matter, that the resources exist, that the challenges that exist that people have identified are important to them, and combining those, we can actually address pretty much any situation. So we're going to move now to have a little bit of a conversation around youth development and the systems that exist here with respect to youth development and the integration with nature. And that's why we actually asked Jishuki to come here today, Jishuki Francis, and to introduce him. We're going to have Davi Mosey, if she can introduce him. And just Davi is a staff member of Cooperative Extension. She's many of you who are not within Cooperative Extension know her as well from many other places. She's only, we were just talking about it, she's only been here for 6 years, and she's already a fixture in this county. And has done incredible work, and we're happy to have her. And Davi, here you go.
Thank you. Good morning. So as Ken mentioned, I am Davi Mosey. I'm the coordinator of equity and inclusion here at Cooperative Extension. I'm the one who ordered the snow today because our guest has not experienced snow, and I wanted to give him a great send-off. So a large part of my work here is working towards a more equitable and just internal system at CCE. But another part of that work is looking outwardly and supporting our programs to provide inclusive programming where our participants feel a sense of belonging. One of my overall long-term goals is to strengthen youth development opportunities, especially for youth of color, with a special focus on equipping them with skills to manage mental and physical health and living and working among different cultures. So in order to accomplish that long-term goal, one of the short-term strategies was to invite Jishuki Francis from the Tabasamu Africa Hub in Nairobi, Kenya. Actually, it's in Kitale, Kenya. I've been working in Kenya over 4 years with various organizations around youth development and community organizing in Nairobi. And I was invited by one of my colleagues there to the Tabasamu Africa Hub. Tabasamu means smile in Swahili. So every time you hear me say Tabasamu, I want you to smile, whether you want to or not. Big smile. So I was invited to the Tabasamu Hub, and the whole time I was there, I was thinking about what our programming here, not just at CCE, but in Tompkins County. As Ken mentioned, I've been here in Ithaca for 6 years and worked at a variety of youth supporting organizations. And so I always have this in the forefront of my mind when I'm doing my work in Kenya, and how some of the strategies that they use might look here. So I did some work with Jishuki Francis there, and I thought it would be a good idea to bring him here so that we can learn from him and he could learn what we're doing here and hopefully support that work in the future. So to bring him here, I collaborated with several community organizations, and I just wanted to acknowledge them really quickly. BOCES was instrumental in supporting us to bring Jishuki here, the Ithaca Youth Bureau, My Brother's Keeper Ithaca, our own Primitive Pursuits and urban 4-H programs. And as I said, CCE. So Jishuki has devoted his lifetime to the development of young people through the use of value-based sports. His passion for what he does is unrivaled, and he is committed to serving humanity and creating peace all over. Jashuki is the co-founder and chief executive officer of Transforming Young Stars of Africa. He has a good working knowledge of adult and children learning cycles, community development, and education for life approaches. He has in-depth ability to combine and use various developmental tools and approaches, including development, education leadership, and team action. He is the founder of the Tabasamu Africa Hub. Jashuki has traveled extensively within Kenya, internationally, therefore bolstering his networking and partnership capabilities. He has hands-on experience in organization development, sports for development, youth development, and community mobilization. So I am going to ask you to invite Jashuki with the word caribou, which means welcome in Swahili. So on 3, we're going to caribou, Jashuki, Francis. 1, 2, 3, caribou.
As Ken does his business here, maybe we can move on. Just to add on what he said, CCE grows people. That's the summary I got from him. CCE grows people. I want you to turn to the next person next to you and think of a very good gift just beside the breakfast. Think of a very good gift that you want to share with your friend. And the gift should be either a plant or an animal. The plant or an animal. What would that be? Share with him or her and tell her or him why that plant or that animal is precious to you. Not the one you are seeing here. This is mine. So you have a minute, please. You have a minute. Just find and share that with your colleague. You have a minute.
Yeah, and I didn't know what they were going to be. And we were like, I love
Right. Thank you. Thank you. How was the gift? How is the gift that you got? It was a great gift? Yeah. It was a plant, I'm sure. How many received a plant? If you received a plant. Wow. Those who received an animal, equally competitive. There is a reason behind it, and you can keep on discussing this later when you get back home or you're back on the bus going somewhere. You can still continue sharing that story. It's where we begin all the time. What can you see here? You can see love. What else can you see? You can see? Connection. I'm still finding something to see yet before those words. Eye contact. Wow. Connection, eye contact, love. Elephants. You can see elephants. Exchange. Intimacy. Wow. Is that Paul? Wow. Thank you, Paul. Affection. Who is that I hear from the back? Krista. Krista, how are you? Thank you, welcome. Yes. Generations. Wow. That's deep, eh? Yes. Full attention. Yes? Trust. Yes? Just say it again. No. Trust. Great. Thank you. Intelligence. We can go on and on and on from this particular picture of an elephant. I think one of them is a mother elephant, is it? And the other one is a baby. Is that true? This one on this side is a baby, and the other one is the mother. Just so thank you. Below here, we're going to spend a bit of our time of stop and listen to the young people. Stop, listen to the young people. It's going to be really something we want to focus on in my presentation. And that is an inspiration from this particular elephant. Stop and listen to the young people. That's the inspiration we got. And I want to thank Paul and Wendy. Paul is behind there. He shared with me this particular picture. Thank you so much, Paul. It had big inspiration. That's the normal breakfast we're having. I'm yet to get mine, so don't worry. Before we move further, it's important for us to recognize the Cayuga Nation. We are here paying homage to the people who held this land for us, for our generation to be here. Paying homage is an important part of our connection So paying homage to the Cayuga Nation is important, the Finger Lake region. I've not finished the lakes yet. I've only done one. I still have 4 or 5 more to go. So David has still more work to do to cover the other lakes. The Cayuga children like to go hunting and camping with their fathers. In their history, in the many years, the children used to go hunting and camping with their fathers. Is that something we are still doing today? Is it still something we want to continue doing? Big inspiration from this process. I come from Kenya, a country that is in the eastern side of Africa. We did our census just a few days ago, 2 months ago, and we are at 47.5 million. Our first census in 1969, we were 10 million. So that tells you we are a very fast-growing nation. Our President Uhuru Kenyatta is the son of the first president, Mzee Jomo Kenyatta. That tells you the generation of handing over. I think somebody said about the generations. And that's interesting for us to look at the trends. He's the youngest president we ever had in Kenya. Our official language is Swahili. Swahili is easy to talk. It's not complicated. It follows the syllables. Jambo is how are you. Jambo, jambo, jambo is how are you. You can tell your friend jambo, and he responds jambo. So that's our official language. Why am I here? Not me. If you read it, it is you. It's you reading it, not me saying it. Why am I here?
I came because I was stunned at what you were going to say, and I so wanted to hear it. That's why I came.
Thank you. Inspired to be part of this journey we are making today. Thank you. Why are you here? Why am I here? Why am I here? Why am I here? Yeah, to take breakfast. Perfect. Is it closed or still on? Take breakfast. Yes, sir.
Because we know that love of the earth is essential for its healing, and we all are concerned about thriving and not disappearing.
The earth is important for us. We are part of it, and we are concerned about it. Thank you. Where are you here? Where am I here? Yes. Two? You love the children. That's why you are here. Thank you. Where am I here? Where am I here? Am I seeing a hand at the back? Or just stretching after the meal? Yes? Yeah, this guy who came across the ocean from the eastern part of Africa to the west part of Africa and the crossing over the Atlantic Ocean. 15 hours flight from Nairobi to JF Kennedy, non-stop. That's a good idea. It's a good idea too. Yes, you had something to say?
I just said something similar, but I said community
Yes,
because this is part of my community.
it's part of your community. You have a responsibility to build up the community. Thank you. So that question still goes on. At the end of it, I'll still ask you, not the same, but related to the same. So why am I here is important for you. You answer why you're here yourself. I can never answer that for you. And it helps you to start defining yourself better. For me, this is the reason I'm here, to stop and listen to the young people. To stop and listen to the young people. And I deliberately use the word young people to avoid a scenario of definition of who is a youth. Because the word youth is used a lot and is defined by law. But the young people is never defined by law in many countries. And I like using young people because it runs across the age bracket from birth. It encompasses children who sometimes we don't see them transiting to youth stage because it's a very thin line. So I like using young people all the time. I want to use this process just for you to be able to understand and appreciate where I'm coming from. If you would really know me, you'll know that I come from a very humble family that was ridiculed by a community, that nothing good could come from our family. So if you would really know me, you know that I come from that humble family. Ridiculed by the community members. Nothing good can come from my family. That's my late dad and my mom, who is now 80 years old. And then my late brother and my two last sisters there. So if you know this man who traveled 15 hours to fly here, then you would know that that's the situation. That from early age of my school, I was very passionate about sports and its power to transform the lives of young people. That's me there when I was in high school. Don't compare now. But I was very passionate about power sports and this, how it can change people. If you really know me, you'll know that my education was sponsored by people who believed in my ability and potential. What you see today is not what was there when I was growing up. So my education was sponsored by people who believed in my ability and my potential. Father Stephen Okumu, he's here in the US. Father Wash is still in Kenya. Sister Nula, and among others. These are people who ensured I cleared my high school and I still went to the university. So that's my last firstborn sister who is there, and this is my house, my mad house. And that's my graduation gown. That guy is not the same as you see today. If you really know me, you'll know that my lifetime is spent offering shoulders to young people to step on as they envision possibilities. If you really know me, you'll know that I donated my only land given to me by my parents to develop a community sports and youth resource center in the community where I was born. The same community that ridiculed us, that nothing good can come from us. Today they are the ones seated enjoying the facility. If you really know me, you'll also know that mass communication was my second choice career, which I never took. But today I'm using to create awareness on cross-cutting issues affecting communities. I'm a sports social analyst. I analyze sports for good on radio and on television in Kenya, passing the message of the power of sports for good. If you really know me, you'll know that I have authored one book, A Gem in the Rift Valley, a journey inspired by passion for sports. A book that gives analysis, transformation that has taken place in the community where I lived, where I grew up, the community that ridiculed us through our lives. If you didn't know me, you'll know that I have a family. One wife, Catherine, my daughter Sarah, and my son Joseph. We are celebrating our 20th anniversary on the 4th of December 2019. There will be plenty to take. Please join us. If you really know me, you'll know that as a young person, I founded Transforming Young Stars of Africa, an NGO inspiring young people and communities to prosperity, at the age of 27. If you really know me, you'll know that I declined a teaching career, even when my family was depending on me, and opted to reach out to the world as my classroom. I opted to reach out to the world as my classroom and founded Tabasam Africa Hub to support young people to design their pathways inspired by nature, leadership, and mentorship. And that's why I'm here today, because the world is my classroom. If you really know me, I connect easily with young people, or people in general, at their base, where they are, and language is not a barrier. This is a young person in the city of Bamako in Mali. They speak French, but we had fun. Those headphones are his, are not mine. If you really know me, that I make contribution in policy dialogues on young people's education and sports. And this is one already we are discussing about the curriculum review in Kenya, the things that we need to change. I embrace growth and global mindset. That's a commitment I made some years ago. Just think about the global mindset, the growth mindset. And these are my colleagues from Holland, Kenya, and Indonesia, where I'm also running programs there. If you really know me, you'll be very surprised. that I picked my university degree certificate 22 years after my graduation. I was not able to clear the university fee. And therefore, my certificate remained in the university for 22 years. But that did not stop me from moving. Just turn to your friend and ask him or her, what inspired you? What surprised you about Gishuki? Listening to this guy, what surprised you? If you talk to your immediate neighbor, what surprised you about this guy? What surprised you about Gishuki when listening to him? Have a minute, sir. Talk to your colleague and ask him. Aloja, what surprised you? Yeah.
It's just not the depth of your connections, experiences, but also I have walked through, we have hung out a little bit. I'm no longer surprised, but I'm just continuing to explore the depth of the wisdom that has come from your lived life. I'll leave it in.
Thank you. Thank you. Someone want to share? What was the insight? What did you feel? How did you react as I was sharing that story? If you really know me. Yes. It's very bold. Thank you. Yes.
I think one of the hardest things to do for anyone is to break out of the mold of what people expect you to accomplish or not accomplish.
Yeah.
And that, I think, is extremely inspiring when you can step outside of expectations and follow your heart and follow your soul. That is inspiring and surprising too.
Yeah. Thank you. Yes, sir.
Well, in presenting to people in a culture that puts so much emphasis on outcomes and productivity, that you forced us to slow up and just start from who you are rather than everything else. Just change the whole, it's like a culture change.
Thank you. There's culture change. Thank you. Yes, thank you.
I was surprised but also inspired to see that it shows to recognize people help you, sponsor you, to get your education, and where we see that, we're recognizing that, and it was really inspiring.
Thank you. Thank you. Somebody was inspired, touched, was moved. Yes.
Very, very simple. And I can hear complexity underlying who you are. So although you don't know who I am, I will walk away. I think I understand a piece of who you are.
Yeah.
And it's very, very brave and has faced a lot of judgment. And it makes me feel like when I speak to other people, I want them to know who I am
Yeah.
and I want to be brave.
Thank you. Thank you. It's about you. It's about your journey. It's about your determination. It's about your focus. I want to hear somewhere from this line. Anybody here who wants to say something? Yes. Thank you. Thank you. The heart, yes. Thank you. Yeah, those are the journeys you go through as a person. And it's a journey you take as a change maker. And that's the reason why when I met Davi and she asked me, would you be willing to come to the US? I told her yes. I've traveled to Asia, I've done Europe, I've done South America, I've done Africa. The only place I had not touched was the US. To share the story of the journey that we go through. When I came here in Ithaca, I got some inspirations. And one of the biggest inspiration I got was about Ezra Cornell. And one of the things that is inspiring about this great man, as a boy, he attended the village school. He helped his father in the farm and the pottery. And he learned carpentry. Those are basic things sometimes in life we might want to ignore. But the inspiration is about when he was wealthy, or when he got money, when he got resources, he never forgot. He built a library, and today we celebrate his great university that we have here in Ithaca. A big contribution to the community. When I came here, I had a series of activities that I did. And the one is at Arnott with the primitive pursuit. And we went through a process with them in designing a personal ecosystem. We spent 24 hours in the nature. And by the end of it, every person had designed their own ecosystem. Nature can be used for many things, for scientific, for medical, for any other reason. I use it for social transformation. I connect it to our journey and my journey, how nature connects itself. So this was an important session we had at Arnott. And out of this group, we were about 22, 23. And they went through a process of connecting with nature in the day, and in the night we had a nice bonfire. Again, my colleague was there too. They lit the fire not using the matchbox, but they used the natural way of doing that. It was very, very good. And in the night, the storytelling was very inspiring too. And in the morning, we woke up with nature. And at this point of waking up with nature means by 5 we were already up. and it's quiet, and you can hear everything. And then, as the earth unfolds, the nature unfolds, you start seeing the transitioning. And that healing process, and giving you a memory of things that happened or happening in your life. We have 5 senses, and we are still discovering the 6th and the 7th. So far, we're only at the 5th. And we use often only one, more than not. And it's a sense of sight. So if you ask you to close your eyes now, you tell me I cannot close for more than 2 minutes. Excuse me, I can't see more. No, it's enough. Because you depend on it. 70-80% we are just using the sight. We have other senses. And that nature allows us to stop and listen. Stop and listen. There are many values around it. And one of the biggest values, if you look at nature, nature looks at things from an abundance point of view. While in normal circumstances, we are looking at it from a scarcity point of view. Nature is never short of abundance. But humanity and our perspective is always scarcity. I don't have. It's not enough. Every time, it's not enough. You have $100,000, no, it's not enough. $1 million, it's not enough. So we are always in a scarcity level. But nature speaks from abundance. Nature speaks from a system way, while we speak often than not from an individualistic way. So when you connect with the nature, you start seeing systems. You start seeing connections. But as a society, minus nature, we're always about ourselves. Nature looks at synergy, while we are looking at competition. All the time we are competing. But nature is talking about synergy. How do I benefit? How do I support the others to grow? So nature gives us more trust. Because if you go to nature, you will find trees lying on each other. You will find logs lying on the other side. You'll see, climbers supporting each other. So the nature has a lot of trust. Nature has curiosity. It creates curiosity in us. And nature is resilient. Nature is very resilient at all times. It bounces back at every time. And those are the key lessons we learn from nature. We, on the other side, very fearful, resistant to change. So nature gives us a lot of things that we can learn from. So this was one of the key moments that we picked up when we were here. We are at the West Village, building the intercultural confidence and the exchange learning that we are doing with the children there. Beautiful, beautiful boys and girls. A good moment to connect. Some was there with the lodger, and we had a lot of connection with those children. Feeling, I asked them, which flag of this country, which flag is this? Which country is this? Actually, they told me it's Jamaica. It's Jamaica flag. I told them, yeah, at least you know a flag out of US. At least it's out of US. So they started drawing this flag, and we had a lot of fun with those little kids, and they want to come to Africa too. Of course, Cornell campus, learning to give back more as the founder did. Big inspiration. At the 4H acres, we had the children experiencing the beauties now. Remember, I talked about the beauties and the abundance of nature. This is what the kids could do with nature. Look at that beauty. Just picking and aligning them. Picking and aligning them. If you look at the palm of your hand, walk into nature and identify leaves that are aligned to your veins and stuff. That's how they were doing it. I went to Tompkins Cortland Community College. I don't know what I was carrying there, but I think there was something good there. And we were talking about storytelling with the students because they were doing their paper. They were doing a presentation of their group work. Because there were lectures there, so we were having that session. So I went to sort of support them. How do you tell a story? How do you build a story? How do you prepare it? And how do you present it? The only challenge I had with there is that they wanted me to remain as their lecturer. And I told them, no, I'm still going back to other part of the world. This was an important session at the bosses. And the teachers started appreciating the power of value-based sports. If you look at that statistics there, 50% in the value-based sports look at the social issues. If you invert it the other way around, 50% in the normal soccer or any sports will be tactics, if you invert it that way. But in the value-based sports, we are trying to help young people benefit from this. 50% of it becomes social, 20% become physical, technical, and tactical. So 50% are the social issues affecting them. And how do you use sports for that purpose? That's what we're discussing with the teachers. I've been in that sector for years. I sit in the street football world body as a board member, where we have 155 organizations around the world that are defining sports for good. We are hosting here in the US, after Qatar, the next World Cup will be here, between Canada and the US. How do we harvest the power of sports as the world converges in these two countries here? So this was important discussion because the US right now has almost 329 million people, 620, 717. That's a huge population. But only 10% of the population gains directly from sports. So as you engage your children in sports, know that not all of them will earn from it. So you must harvest the social values. And the social values are confidence, competence, character, connection, and contribution. So at the end of the day, these young people who are going through all these sports are able to have confidence, the ability to be able to articulate your ideas, competence, they're able to navigate through their lives with the skills they're able to get in life. The character, when you talk about integrity, it is in the character. When you talk about connections, they are able to work within their communities and bring the change that we are looking for. And finally, they are able to be contribution. They are able to give leadership in their communities. That's what sports does. And that's what it did to me. I had an opportunity to have to attend a meeting where the chief of police was present. And it was very nice for me to realize and appreciate that they are able to come closer to the people and have dialogue with the people. Sometimes not true in Kenya. Kenya sometimes is very rough. We don't call them chief of police, they are commanders. So it's not easy to work at that level. So this was an important moment for me to see that they're able to come down, give us updates and on service delivery and security. And policeman is not just uniform and a gun, but a caring human being. Thank you. I didn't know you were in the crowd. Most welcome. That is powerful to have that connection. A caring human being, not just someone carrying a gun and uniform. Strong message for me and strong message for the community. It's something I pick back home, but also good for us as a community. I had an opportunity to watch the video, the movie. Actually, they were launching the Harriet Tubman. We did the launch, but then I had an opportunity to go to the museum and connect with this great lady. An inspiration and service to humanity. If you hear a lot of me from the start and start talking, I'm not talking about the change people can make. You are a change maker. There's no one else who can change. You are the change maker. And Harriet Tubman, watching the movie and going to where she was buried in her hometown in Auburn, you recognize sacrifice. I relate very closely to the journey of Harriet Tubman. And as a person, what are you thinking? What are you feeling? What is your contribution to humanity in a small way? It may never be documented anyway in the books of history, but it will be documented in people's hearts. It's a legacy you leave. I was at the Ithaca Bureau. These are moments of obligation in our lives. These are staff, mentors, who we had a session with. Why do we do what we do? Why do we do what we do? You have a history, you have a background. You have a reservoir of who you are. Take time to look at it. The journey of a change maker. These are mentors who are working with young people from diversity. And the opportunity that the Bureau provides to them is great. One of the staff there talked about when he was a young boy, he was not able to talk. He was not a good speaker. He was shy. But through the facility and the sports event they had there, that was very great for him. Here, I did not have a photo. This was at the Finger Lake Residential. Most of you know it, eh? The Finger Lake Residential. How many know that facility? Great. This is where our young boys who are sentenced because of any crime, that's where they go for rehabilitation. That's where they are. I spent 4 weeks. Every week I was going there. And not all of us start at the same place in life. But that does not mean we stop from achieving our goals. I've used this picture here of the athletics. And if you look at it, not all these people are in the same place, is it? They are not starting from the same point. They are starting from different positions. But where are they going? To end at the same place. Meaning that when we are bringing up our young people and when we are treating people, know some of us started our life from a faulty start. Some of us were not in the same position and values and systems that could enable us to become who we are. I had chances to talk to those young boys there, and you listen to their story, you say, it's not your fault. You're a victim of circumstances. And as parents, we have a heavy duty to bear. Children learn from us. They pick from us. Some of them is because they were born with that situation, because of us parents. So we all begin from a different position and treat each individual separately. Don't combine them. Don't put them together and say, all of you, you have made this mistake. Every child has a potential. It's only that they are in the wrong position. I was at the CCE staff meeting, and we had an opportunity to look at creating open and enabling environment for everyone. It is in this meeting that the intrinsic motivation of why I go to CCE is day in, day out. Why do I go to CCE day in, day out? And some of us also from our own organizations or from wherever we are. Why do I go to work day in, day out? What is the motivation? What is the intrinsic push in you? Very important for all of us. Recognizing that is important. And CCE creates that kind of climate, that environment for the staff to be able to deliver their mandate. And one of the things I learned there that was powerful for me was really that Ken gives space and gives information to everyone. Everyone has access to information, which sometimes you don't find everywhere. That's important, a learning moment. Then you ask yourself, what can I do? What can I do? Again, stop and listen. And listen to yourself and listen to the young people. Listen to the next generation. And I find meaning in those moments that you're working with them. That is what I asked you last time when I said, why are you here? And then what can I do? What is it that you're going to do from here? What is the situation you're going to work with? What are you going to stop and listen? And nature provides that opportunity for you. Getting out to nature should be able to be easy for you, despite the fact that we have historical reasons why we don't go to nature. Same in my country, we fought for independence, and the war for independence in Kenya was fought in the forests. It was not fought in the open, it was in the forest. For those who follow the history of Kenya, that's what we did. So we fought in the forests. But we still go back there to the forest today to get inspirations. We still go back there for inspiration purposes. So think about, what can I do? Nature has its own way of supporting us. I told you I do a lot of nature for social transformation, not social for scientific evidence. I have young people who I work with a lot in terms of nature in Indonesia, Africa, and they are using nature to inspire their own dreams. When we go through nature, one of the most important things we recognize are the abundance and beauties. Take your time to see the beauties of nature. Come back to yourself later and draw the nature walk you did. Even if you have your own garden, just walk in the garden and identify things you are seeing as beautiful. Come back and draw them. Just draw the system you went through. And every moment you took, I stopped here, this is what I did. I stopped here, this is what I did. Then when you do that, bring that information back to your life. And ask yourself, what do I want to do now? What are the situation I'm in now that I want to address? And how would nature respond to that? Given the 5 beauties that you have identified, or 3, plus the dreams that you have as a person, how do you then design that to support you move on to the next level? Last month in April, I was running a program for young graduates from universities. And one of the things that we did was to ensure that they go through nature. Their career, they are finding the pathway to careers. And one of the things they discovered was nature already has solutions for them. One of the ladies wants to do interior design, and she wants to run her own company, but she didn't know what to do. And she had a fear in herself, and the fear was also from early age, when they were told by their mothers, don't go to the river. Because at one point, there was a crocodile that was around there, so they never went there. So she grew the fear of the nature, just like David did for many years ago. But when she came in and she walked alone in the nature. And there were monkeys on the way. And these monkeys scared her a lot. But she still went on across the other side of the river. So when she was designing her way, she didn't realize that it's important not to fear, but to confront your fear. So she's already designing now her company, knowing that in life you cannot just be what you want to be alone, but you have to confront the fears that are with you. So many examples of how that is done in concentration and in consultation with the young people themselves. You can design that process. I want to come to the close of my session by asking you the same question. What can you do? What can we do for our communities? What can we do for the globe? What can we do for the many young people that nobody is stopping to listen to them? What can you do? I want to thank you. And still the year is young. But I invite you to tap into my expertise in the areas that mentioned above. Any other time you'd want us to connect. And my shoulders are always still available for you. Come and step on them. Don't, even if they are muddy, don't worry about that. Come and step on my shoulders. Because that's what I do on a day-to-day basis. So with those few remarks, I want to thank you so much and invite you to stop and listen to the young people.
So Shishuki was after the Arnott Forest gathering, a number of folks contacted. We're talking to Davi a couple of days after the event, and they were saying they were talking to Davi a couple of days after the event, and they were saying it was amazing to sit with this for the last several days. And how many times that experience has come back to me, and it's shaped the way that I'm looking at the world. It reshaped the way that I'm looking at the world. So I would just ask for you, I hope for you, that you'll have some time, some space, some quiet in the next several days to actually just think about what Shizuki said. And I thank again Shizuki for coming here and for that powerful conversation. Thank you so much.